Jake Carson was not a man who believed in luck. He worked as a mechanic on a lonely asteroid station far from Earth. Every day, he fixed broken engines, leaky air pipes, and old machines. The station was small and filled with miners, traders, and workers who didn't ask too many questions. Jake liked it that way. He didn't want trouble. He just wanted peace, quiet, and machines that listened when he talked to them. One evening, while he was checking the fuel lines of an old cargo shuttle, a trader ship docked at the station. Jake saw it from the open hangar bay, a rusty, strange-looking ship with yellow lights blinking like tired eyes. The trader who stepped out looked like trouble. He wore a long coat filled with pockets, a smile that felt fake, and eyes that scanned everything like a hungry animal. Jake didn't plan to talk to him. But the trader walked straight toward him. "You're the mechanic here?" the trader asked. "Yeah," Jake said without looking up. "I've got something special. Thought you might like it. Not interested. You will be. It's not a thing. It's someone." That made Jake stop. He looked at the trader and frowned. "What do you mean?" The trader turned and waved at his ship. From the shadows inside, someone stepped out. She was tall, quiet, and wrapped in a dark cloak that dragged on the floor. Her face was hidden under a hood, but her silver eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. She didn't speak. She didn't move much. She just stood there, watching. "What is she?" Jake asked. "I don't know," the trader said. "Picked her up on the edge of the Delta Fringe. Some alien world nobody remembers the name of. She hasn't spoken a word since. Doesn't eat much. Doesn't sleep much. Just stands there, quiet, like a statue." Jake looked at the strange woman again. Something about her felt different. Not dangerous, but not normal either. "Why bring her to me?" "Because you're kind. You work alone. You don't ask stupid questions. And I don't want her anymore. She's bad for business. Too many eyes on me. Too many people asking where I got her." Jake narrowed his eyes. "She's not a thing you can sell." "I'm not selling her," the trader said quickly. "Just asking for a trade. I need a new power cell and a water filter. You give me that, and she's yours." Jake thought for a long moment. It didn't feel right, but something deep inside told him he should not walk away. "Fine," he said. "But if she wants to leave, she leaves. I'm not keeping her prisoner. She hasn't left my ship in 5 weeks. I doubt she run." Jake handed over the parts, and the trader left without another word. The strange woman followed Jake back to his workshop. She walked slowly, her steps silent, her head low. People watched them as they passed, whispering and pointing. Jake ignored them. When they reached his small workspace, he opened the door and motioned her inside. She looked around, curious but calm. "You can stay here," Jake said. "It's not much, but it's quiet." She didn't respond. Jake pointed to a small cot in the corner. "You can sleep there. There's food in the storage unit. If you need anything, just point." Still, she said nothing, but she nodded slowly, once. Jake sat down at his workbench and picked up his tools. He didn't try to talk to her anymore. She didn't seem afraid. She just watched everything carefully, her silver eyes following his hands as he repaired a broken circuit board. Days passed. She stayed close, but never spoke. Jake started calling her Myra, because he had to call her something. Myra followed him around the station, helped him carry tools, and even handed him parts when he needed them. She seemed to understand his work, even though he never taught her anything. Jake found her presence comforting. He didn't have many friends. People liked to stay away from him, thinking he was too quiet, too strange. But Myra didn't mind. Silence. She lived in it. At night, he would hear her moving quietly around the room, never sleeping, never making a sound. And sometimes, just before he drifted off to sleep, he would look over and find her standing by the window, staring out into space, as if she was waiting for something or someone. Jake didn't know what he had brought into his life, but deep down, he felt it was something important. Something that would change everything. Every day, Myra stayed close to Jake. She never spoke, but she helped him with everything. If he reached for a tool, she passed it to him. If he dropped a bolt, she picked it up. She moved with quiet grace, and she never got in the way. Jake still didn't know what she was. He had seen many aliens in his life, but none like her. Her skin had a pale blue glow, and her silver eyes never blinked. Her fingers were long and moved like water. She didn't seem to need sleep, food, or rest, yet she stayed alert and ready to help Dot at first. Jake thought she was only copying him. But soon, he noticed something strange. Myra didn't just follow him, she improved things. She repaired a broken circuit without being told. She fixed a power relay Jake had given up on. One time, she touched a machine that hadn't worked in years, and it turned on like new. Jake was surprised. "How did you do that?" he asked. Myra tilted her head, but said nothing. Jake scratched his head. "You're not just watching me, are you? You understand this stuff. Maybe better than I do." Myra didn't answer, but her eyes glowed a little brighter. The station crew started talking about Jake and the silent alien. People whispered in the halls. Some were afraid of her. Others were just curious. A few even came to Jake's shop pretending to need repairs, just to get a look at her. Jake didn't like the attention. "People are getting nosy," he told Myra. "They think you're dangerous or special. I don't care what they think, but I won't let anyone take you away." Myra stood still, watching him with calm eyes. One day, the station's mining rig broke down. It was the biggest machine on the asteroid and very important for the station's power supply. The chief engineer, Carla, came to Jake in a panic. "We need you to fix it," she said. "Nobody else can. The system's fried, and half the team is scared to go near it. Something's wrong with the control unit." Jake took his tools and headed to the mining bay. Myra followed. The rig was massive, with wires hanging like vines and smoke still rising from the engine. Jake climbed up and opened the panel. He saw burnt wires, melted circuits, and a cracked power core. "This isn't just damage," Jake muttered. "Something hit this with a surge, like a blast." Myra placed her hand on the metal wall. A soft light spread from her fingers. The machine made a low hum. Jake stepped back. "What are you doing?" Myra didn't move. The hum grew louder. Lights on the rig flickered and then turned green. "That's not possible," Jake said. Myra stepped back. The machine was working again. No tools, no parts, just her touch. Carla watched from behind. Her eyes were wide. "Did she do that? How?" Jake didn't answer. He didn't know. That night, people on the station talked even more. Some said Myra was a machine herself. Others said she was magic. A few called her a weapon. Jake stayed quiet. He didn't want to guess. He only knew Myra had saved the station. Later, back in his workshop, he sat down next to her. "You helped them, even when they were afraid of you." "Why?" Myra looked at him. Slowly, she touched her chest, then pointed to him. Jake smiled. "Because I helped you first?" She nodded once. He leaned back. "You're not like anyone I've ever met. You fix things just by touching them. Is that your gift, or are you something more?" Myra tilted her head again. Her eyes glowed softly, but she gave no answer. Jake didn't need one. Not yet. From that day on, the machines Jake worked on seemed to run better. Engines ran smoother. Power cells lasted longer. Even small tools stopped breaking. And every time Myra was nearby, the work felt easier. Jake noticed that Myra would often stop and stare at certain parts of machines, like she was listening to them. Sometimes she would press her hand on them and close her eyes. And when she opened them, it was as if the machines felt lighter. He once asked her, "Can you hear them? The machines?" She didn't reply, but her soft smile was enough. Jake no longer saw her as just an alien. She was a mystery, yes, but a kind one. A helper, a friend. Still, he wondered, why hadn't she spoken? What had happened to her before she came to him? Was there someone out there looking for her? Or was she hiding from something worse? Jake didn't know the answers. But he knew one thing. Myra was special, and she had chosen to stay with him. And for now, that was enough. Jake woke up early. He rubbed his eyes and looked around the workshop. Myra was standing near the window again. She had not moved all night. She never slept, but she always seemed calm, as if waiting for something. The stars outside the window blinked in the dark sky. Jake got up and walked over to the table. He started working on a broken oxygen pump. Myra walked over and handed him the right tool before he even asked. He smiled. "You always know what I need," he said. Myra nodded slowly. Jake looked at her. "You've been quiet since the mining rig. I think people are afraid of what they saw. They don't understand." Myra tilted her head slightly. Later that day, Jake went to the main supply hall to pick up parts. Myra followed as always. As they walked through the corridor, a group of workers stood near the wall, whispering. One of them, a tall man named Derek, stepped in front of them. "Hey, Jake," Derek said. "You sure it's safe having her around? She messes with machines. What if she messes with our systems?" Jake frowned. "She saved your life when the rig went down, or did you forget?" "Yeah, but that's the problem," Derek said. "No one knows how she did it. That scares people. Then they need to stop being scared and start being thankful." Jake pushed past him, and Myra followed. Derek said nothing, but his eyes stayed on them. Back at the workshop, Jake sat on a crate and sighed. "This place isn't what it used to be. I used to enjoy working here, but now it feels different, like people are watching us." Myra stood near the wall, still and silent. Jake looked up at her. "You feel it too, don't you?" She gave a small nod. That night, a strange thing happened. Jake was working late on a power grid scanner when Myra suddenly stopped moving. She turned her head toward the far wall and stared. "What is it?" Jake asked. She didn't answer. She walked to the wall and placed her hand on the metal surface. Her fingers began to glow faintly. Jake watched as her eyes narrowed and her face became tense. A second later, the lights in the workshop flickered. Jake jumped to his feet. "Myra, what are you doing?" Myra stepped back. "Listen," Jake froze. It was the first word she had ever spoken since she came to him. Her voice was soft, quiet, and full of something strange, pain or memory. Maybe both. "Myra ... You spoke." She nodded. "There is something here. Not right." Jake moved beside her. "What do you mean?" She looked at the wall again. Something under. Something broken. Jake didn't understand. He opened the panel and looked inside. Wires ran along the wall, but nothing seemed wrong. Then Myra reached in and touched a black cable. The wire sparked and hissed. Jake saw it now, a hidden transmitter. "That's not station, dear," Jake said. "Someone planted this." "But why?" Myra stepped back. "They watch. They listen. Not safe." Jake pulled the device out and placed it on the table. "Someone's spying on us? They think you're dangerous. Maybe they're planning something." He stared at the device for a long moment. Then he turned to Myra. "We need to be careful. They're afraid of you, and now they're watching us." Myra sat on the floor and closed her eyes. Her hands rested on her knees. A soft light glowed from her fingers again. Jake didn't interrupt. He waited. After a while, she opened her eyes. "More of these. In other places." "How many?" "5, maybe. More." Jake stood up. "We need to find them. And we need to make sure you're safe." Over the next few days, Jake and Myra searched the station. Myra would pause in the middle of a hallway or inside a control room, then walk straight to a hidden panel. Each time, they found another device. Tiny, hard to see, and not part of the station's original system. Jake removed them all and kept them in a box. By the end of the week, people started asking questions. Derek cornered Jake near the food hall. "You're messing with station systems." "Now?" Derek asked. "You think we won't notice?" Jake kept his voice calm. "I'm fixing what someone else broke." "Maybe you should ask who put those things there." Derek glared at him. "She's changing you. You were quiet before, kept to yourself. Now you're hiding things." "That alien's messing with your head." Jake walked away without saying more. He didn't care what Derek thought. All he cared about was Myra Dot back in the workshop. He placed the last device on the table. Mira looked at the collection of wires and tiny black chips. "They fear what they don't understand," Jake said. "But we're not going to hide. Not anymore." Myra reached out and touched one of the devices. It sparked and went dark. Jake smiled. "Good. Let's see what they do when they can't watch us." Something had changed. Myra had spoken. And now Jake felt the beginning of something new: danger. Maybe, but also purpose. He didn't know what was coming. But he knew he wasn't alone anymore. The next day, the station was quiet. Too quiet. Jake noticed it the moment he stepped outside his workshop. Usually there was noise, tools clanging, workers talking, machines running. But now everything seemed still, like the station was holding its breath. Myra stood behind him, watching with calm eyes. Jake whispered, "Something's wrong." They walked through the corridor. No one spoke to them. Some turned away. Others stared without smiling. It was clear the mood had changed. Jake didn't like it. When they reached the control deck, 2 guards stopped them. "Jake Carson, come with us," one of them said. "What's this about?" Jake asked. "The commander wants to speak with you, now. She said come alone." Jake turned to Myra. "Wait for me here." Myra nodded. She stepped back as Jake followed the guards down the hall. They entered a large office. Commander Lynn stood by the window, arms crossed. She was a sharp woman, always serious, and known for keeping the station running smoothly. "Jake," she said without turning, "do you know why you're here?" "No, but I have a guess." She turned to face him. "You've been found near damaged systems. You've removed several unknown devices from station walls." "You're hiding something," Jake frowned. "I found those devices. They were hidden. Someone was spying on us, on me and Mira." "And why would someone spy on a mechanic and an alien who doesn't speak?" "She speaks now, and she's not dangerous." Commander Lynn raised an eyebrow. "She fixed a mining rig with a touch. She made a dead system come alive. That's not normal." "People are scared." Jake stepped forward. "Mira is not a threat. She helps. She saved this station." "That may be true, but others see her differently. And now we have a ship on the way from Central Command. They want her brought in for testing." Jake's face went pale. "You can't. It's not my choice anymore. She's not registered. No record of species or origin. That makes her a subject of interest. The order is clear. She will be taken." Jake shook his head. "No, I won't let them take her." Lynn sighed. "Don't make this harder than it has to be. Think carefully. If you fight this, you may be removed too." Jake left the office without a word. He walked quickly back to the workshop. Myra was waiting. "They want you," he said quietly. "They're sending a ship to take you." Myra looked calm. She did not seem surprised. "I'll hide you. I'll find a way. We can leave this place. There are other stations, safer ones." Myra touched his hand gently. "Not run." Jake looked at her. "You want to stay?" She nodded. "I speak now. I show them." Jake didn't know what she planned to do, but he trusted her. That night, he helped Myra move equipment to the central hub. It was the only place with strong enough power to reach the entire station. Myra stood in front of the control system and placed her hand on it. A soft light spread from her fingers. "They listen now," she said. Then she began to speak. Her voice filled the station. It was soft, but clear. She told them who she was. Her name, her home, her people. She said she was not a weapon. She was made to help, to connect, to heal. Her kind lived far away, and she had been taken from them. She spoke about Jake, about kindness, about trust. The station listened. No one spoke. No one moved. When she finished, silence returned. Then the doors opened. Commander Lin walked in, alone. That was brave, she said. Mira stood still. Lin looked at Jake. The ship is still coming. I can't stop that. But I can delay them. You'll have time. Jake nodded. Thank you. Lin turned to Myra. You spoke to everyone. Some are still afraid, but others are listening. You've started something. Myra said, we finish it. Together. Jake watched the two women. He felt something change inside him. Hope. The next day, people came to the workshop. Not to stare, not to whisper, but to help. Engineers, workers, even guards. They asked questions. Myra answered. They brought her tools, machines, broken systems. She showed them how to fix things better. The station slowly changed. Fear turned to curiosity. Curiosity became respect. And for the first time since Myra arrived, she smiled. Jake stood beside her, proud. They were no longer alone, but he knew this was only the beginning. The ship from Central Command was still coming. And they would not come with questions. They would come with change. Still, Jake and Mira were ready. Whatever came next, they would face it together. 3 days passed. The station slowly returned to normal. Workers fixed machines, engineers checked systems, and people began to greet Jake and Mira without fear. Myra helped everyone who came to the workshop. She showed them how to fix problems faster. She made machines stronger and more stable. People were no longer scared of her. Some even smiled when they saw her. Jake felt proud. He had never seen the station this alive. Mira had brought change, and it was a good kind. But deep inside, he worried. The ship from Central Command was still coming. He knew it would arrive. Soon. That morning, a message came through the station's main screen. A large ship was approaching. It would dock in 12 hours. Commander Lin called for a meeting in the Central Hall. Everyone gathered. Miners, engineers, guards, and workers all stood together. Jake and Mira stood near the back. Commander Lin stepped forward. The ship from Central Command will arrive soon. They are here to inspect the station and speak with Mira. I have spoken. To them, I asked for peace, but they gave no promises. The room went quiet. People looked at Mira. She stood tall and calm. One worker raised a hand. What will they do to her? I don't know, Lin said. They might ask her to come with them. They may try to take her by force. Jake stepped forward. She hasn't hurt anyone. She's helped us. We should protect her. More voices agreed. Someone shouted, We stand with Myra. The room filled with voices. They were ready to defend her. Lin held up her hand. We will not start a fight, but we will show them she is part of our station now. Later, Jake and Mira returned to the workshop. You scared? Jake asked. Myra looked at him. Not scared. Ready. They'll want to study you. They'll treat you like an object. Then I will speak. I will show them I am more than that. Jake sat beside her. I'll be with you, no matter what. Time passed slowly. The hours felt heavy. Jake and Mira worked on small repairs, but their minds were somewhere else. Finally, the station lights blinked. A signal. The ship had docked. Jake walked with Mira to the docking bay. Many people were already there. Commander Lin stood in front. Guards were present but held their weapons low. The ship's doors opened. A group of officers stepped out. There. Uniforms were clean, their faces cold. One man walked ahead of the rest. He had gray eyes and a deep voice. I am Captain Harlan. I am here on behalf of Central Command. We are here for the alien known as Mira. Lin stepped forward. She is here. But she is not just an alien. She is our friend. Harlan looked at Mira. She must come with us. We need to understand what she is. She is not registered. Her powers are unknown. Jake stepped between them. You don't need to take her. She hasn't harmed anyone. She's helped everyone. That is not your choice, Harlan said. Myra stepped beside Jake. It is my choice. I speak for myself. Harlan looked surprised. You can speak? Yes, Myra said. I choose to stay. We cannot allow that. We have orders. People behind Jake began to speak. One by one, they told stories. Stories of how Mira had helped them, how she had repaired machines no one else could. Fix, how she had shown kindness. Even the guard spoke for her. Harlan listened. His face stayed hard, but his eyes moved. Myra stepped forward. You fear me because I am different. But I am not your enemy. I was taken from my home. I want peace. I want to help. Let me do that here. Harlan said nothing for a long time. Then he looked at Lynn. You will be responsible for her. If anything happens, the blame will be yours. Lynn nodded. I accept that. Harlan turned to his officers. Stand down. We are leaving. Jake couldn't believe it. Myra had done it. She had changed their minds with her voice. Her truth died as the officers left. The crowd cheered. People hugged each other. Some cried. Myra stood still, her silver eyes soft. Jake smiled. You did it, Myra looked at him. We did it. That night, the station felt alive with joy. Lights glowed brighter. Laughter filled the halls. And Mira, once a silent mystery, had become a symbol of hope. But deep inside, Jake knew their journey was not over. Something more was coming. Something bigger. And they would face it together. The ship from Central Command had left, but its visit had changed many things. Life on the station slowly returned to normal. People worked together with a new sense of trust. Machines were running better, and systems were more stable. Myra had become a part of daily life. She helped in repair bays, taught simple fixes to young workers, and even joined meetings with Commander Lynn. Jake was always close by, watching and helping Dot, but far beyond the station, others had started to listen. Quiet message had been sent by one of the officers on the command ship before it left. That message reached places that did not want peace. It spoke of a powerful alien, one that could speak to machines and fix technology with a single touch. It said the alien had chosen to live with humans. Some saw this as a danger. One night, Jake woke to a strange sound. He looked around the workshop. Mira was standing near the door, eyes glowing softly. What is it? Jake asked. Something is coming, she said. Not from Earth. Not from your people. Jake stood up quickly. You mean ... others like you? No. She. Sighed. Different. Old enemies. They hunted my kind before. Jake's heart began to race. Are they coming here? Yes. I feel them. The next day, Jake told Commander Lynn. She gathered her top people and brought Mira in to speak. Mira stood in front of them. There is a group in space. We call them the Hollow. They take technology, steal it, break it, and use it for war. They tried to destroy my people. I was taken during the battle with them. Now, I feel their signal. They're coming. Lynn looked serious. How much time do we have? Maybe 2 days, maybe less. Lynn stood. We need to prepare. The whole station moved into action. Engineers reinforced the outer walls. Weapon systems, long unused, were tested and activated. Drones were prepared. Jake and Mira worked nonstop, fixing everything and giving advice. That evening, Mira stood on the highest platform of the station. She reached out with her hands, feeling the space around her. They are close, she said. Jake stood beside her. Can we fight them? We must, but not just with weapons. With something stronger. Like what? Connection? Jake didn't fully understand, but he trusted her. When the hollow ships arrived, they came fast. 3 large vessels, black and silent, appeared from deep space. No warnings, no messages. They moved to surround the station. Inside. Alarms rang. Lynn stood at the command screen. Shields up. Power systems on full. Everyone to defense posts. Myra walked to the control room. Her hands glowed. She touched the panels. "Let me speak." Her voice filled the station again. "The Hollow are here. Do not fear. We are ready. Stand strong. Together, we are more." Outside, the Hollow ship sent a pulse. Lights flickered. One system shut down. Myra closed her eyes and touched the core of the station. Light spread from her hands. The system restarted. Lights returned. "Power surge!" Jake shouted. "She's holding them back!" But the Hollow did not stop. They began to fire. The station shook. Small damage reports came in. The shields held, but not for long. Jake worked to reroute power. Myra moved from room to room, helping systems stay online. Each time she touched the control panel, the machines worked better, faster. Suddenly, one of the Hollow ships drew closer. It sent a beam that began to pull power directly from the station. Myra stepped forward. She reached out and sent a signal back through the beam. Her whole body glowed. The ship shook. Sparks flew. Then, one of the Hollow ships stopped moving. "She shut it down," someone shouted, but the effort made Myra weak. She fell to her knees. Jake ran to her. "Are you okay?" She nodded. "We can win, but I need help." Jake placed his hand on hers. "Tell me what to do." She looked into his eyes. "Trust me." Together, they moved to the main reactor. Myra placed her hands on the core. Jake connected wires as she guided him. They formed a pattern, one that sent energy not as a weapon, but as a wave. A soft hum filled the station. Then a bright light spread out in every direction. The two remaining Hollow ships shook. One turned and flew away. The other powered down and drifted into space. The threat was gone. Inside the station, people cheered. Jake helped Myra to her feet. She was tired but smiling. Commander Lin entered. "You saved us again, both of you," Myra said. "We saved each other." Jake looked at the stars. "They'll come back, won't they?" "Maybe. But next time, we won't be alone." The station stood strong. And now, it had more than walls and weapons. It had unity, built by a man and a silent alien who found her voice and gave hope to everyone around her. Weeks passed since the Hollow ships left. Life on the station changed in many ways. People were no longer afraid. They worked with hope and purpose. They knew they were stronger together. Myra was no longer seen as just an alien. She was a friend, a guide, a protector. Jake still worked in his shop, fixing machines, but now many others came to help him. Young workers asked questions, learned new skills, and smiled more often. Myra spent her days walking through the station, checking systems, giving advice, and sometimes just listening. One evening, as the stars turned outside the windows, Jake and Myra sat on the rooftop platform. It had become their favorite place. They could see the galaxy from there. It was quiet, peaceful. Jake looked at her. "Do you miss your home?" Myra nodded slowly. "Yes, but I've made a new one here." Jake smiled. "I'm glad. I don't know what this place would be without you. You would have kept it safe," she said. "Not like this. Not with this much hope." Just then, a message came through the station's main channel. Commander Lin's voice was calm but serious. "We've received contact from a distant system. It's a signal in Myra's language. We are checking the source." Myra stood up. Her eyes grew bright. "It is them, my people." Jake stood beside her. "They found you?" "Yes." The next day, a small ship arrived. It was shaped like a flower, glowing with soft light. It moved gently through space and docked beside the station. People gathered in silence, watching with wonder. The ship opened. 3 beings stepped out. They looked like Myra, tall, graceful, glowing. Their eyes sparkled with warmth. They walked straight to her and touched their hands to hers. A soft mum passed between them. Myra turned to Jake. "They came for me. They want me to return." Jake felt something inside him drop. He tried to smile. "That's good. You should go home." "They missed you." I miss them too, she said. The station prepared. A farewell. People brought gifts, small tools, flowers made from wire, simple drawings. Mayra accepted them with thanks and quiet joy. Before she left, she stood in front of the station crew. You gave me a home when I had nothing. You gave me your trust. I will always remember. My people will know what you did. And one day, we will return with open hands. Not just to visit, but to build together. Jake walked her to the ship. I'm going to miss you. I will miss you too, she said. You helped me find my voice. You gave me a reason to stay strong. He held her hand. Be safe out there. You too. She stepped into the ship. The doors closed. Light wrapped around the ship as it lifted into space. Slowly, it moved away until it became a star among stars. Days passed. The station was quiet again. People worked and remembered. They told stories about Mira. Children asked about her. Some even tried to fix small machines, hoping they had her. Jake returned to his work. He still helped everyone who came to his shop. He still smiled. But sometimes, when no one was looking, he stared at the stars and missed his friend. Then one day, a small package arrived. No name, no return code, just a smooth silver box. Jake opened it. Inside was a crystal. When he touched it, Myra's voice filled the room. Hello, Jake. I am safe. My people welcome me home. They know your name. They know your kindness. We are building again. Not just for us, but for many. One day you will see. Jake held the crystal close. For the first time in many days, he laughed. It was soft, but it was real. Commander Lynn visited him that night. We're planning something new, she said. A new section for the station. Bigger, more open. Maybe even a place where Myra's people can visit one day. Jake nodded. She'd like that. Lynn smiled. You should help us design it. I'd be glad to. And so the station grew, not just in size, but in heart. Jake kept working. He taught others. He remembered Mira, and somewhere far in the stars, Mira looked toward the small blue station. That once gave her hope and waited for the day she would return. The end.